Hi guys, I'm Lindsay and welcome to my YouTube channel. I basically decided to create this college series to help students who are applying to schools in the US or abroad in general. And I decided to do this because I myself went through the process of applying to schools abroad, and it was long, it was hectic, it was confusing. And so I'm here to take out all of that confusion for you. I basically did all of my college prep within 3 to 4 months of my last year in high school, and that was wild. So I'm here to stop you from making that same mistake, but also in the same breath to tell you that you are never too late, okay? You still have enough time to get to your dream school. But a very, very big part about having success in this process is making sure that you have the right school list. And so I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide to building the perfect college list. Okay, so to build your college list, there are 4 main questions that you need to ask yourself, and we're going to go through them one by one. The first question is, can I get in? And what do I mean by that? I'm really asking if my grades are competitive enough. And now we all know that grades are not everything, but when it comes to college admissions, they are very, very, very important. So let's talk about building your college list around your grades. So my first piece of advice is to apply to at least 12 schools. 4 reach schools, 4 safety schools, and 4 what I like to call Einstein schools. So what are those? A reach school is a school where your grades meet or are just about around the school's average. A safety school is a school where your grades are above the school's average. And an Einstein school, as I like to call it, is a school where your grades are way above the school's average. So for example, if your SAT score is 1300 and the school's SAT is 1310, then that school is a reach school for you. If the school's SAT is around 1220, then that is a safety school for you. But if the school's SAT is like 1100, then that is an Einstein school for you. Basically, if you go to the school, you're like Albert Einstein. So your SAT is just one component of your grades. Other important numbers to look at are your test scores, which would be like your CSEC, CAPE, IB, whatever you're taking, and your GPA. Another key number to look at in admissions is the school's acceptance rate. Please bear in mind that schools with an admissions rate of less than 20% are extremely competitive. And remember, for international students, it's always harder. So just be honest with yourself about your grades and use that to build your school list. Okay, so question number 2. Can I afford it, or how do I plan to afford it? Many people get into really good schools and don't end up going simply because they didn't make a plan to afford it and they just don't know how they're going to pay for it. Do not let that be you. You need to have a plan to pay for your college education. And when I say that you should have a plan to afford it, I don't necessarily mean that the money is coming out of your pocket. Your plan could be to get a scholarship or to fund it through a loan. That's completely fine as well. Now, when it comes to financial aid and scholarships, there is so much that you need to know, and I will definitely do a follow-up, way more comprehensive video. But here are a few factors that you can consider when choosing schools. Number 1, does the school offer merit aid or need-based aid? Merit aid is based off academics and extracurricular. Need-based aid is based off need. So know what your school offers and know what you're applying for. Secondly, is the school need blind or need aware? A need blind school does not consider your ability to pay when making an admissions decision. A need aware school is aware of your need, so they do consider how much you can afford to pay. Another thing to know is whether or not the school has an external scholarship application, and of course you can also fund your college education through federal aid if you're a US citizen, loans, or even external scholarships. Okay, so we're up to question number 3, which is, will I fit in? Now, it's super hard to know whether or not you'll fit into a school having not been there or meeting the people there, but there are a few things that you can do remotely that I recommend. Firstly is going to the school's website and looking under their student life section. Also, take a look at the school's core values and any activities that they offer. The second thing is going to YouTube and looking for student testimonials. There are tons of students who make YouTube videos and they'll vlog about a day in the life at their school. So you could look up something like A Day in the Life at Columbia, or A Day in the Life at Cornell. Question number 4. What other factors are important to me? There are a gazillion factors that you could consider when choosing a school, and it's all about personal preference. I'm just going to list a few of the factors. Number 1, location. And you may want to consider accessibility of flights and also closeness to family if that's important to you. Number 2, the weather. Number 3, if the school offers your major and is it accredited. Yes, some schools offer degrees that are not accredited, so please make sure that your school is not one of those. 4, rankings, and that's totally based on what's important to you. For example, if dorm life is important to you, you may want to search up schools with the best dorms. 5, population size, whether the school is big or small. Sometimes that can affect their class sizes. 6, religious affiliation. Some schools are Christian schools, and so they have certain rules like curfews or even same-sex dorms. 7, gender, whether the school is a same-sex school or a co-ed. 8, public versus private. That is, whether the school is a public school or a private school. Public schools are state-funded and private schools are privately funded. This largely affects how they disburse scholarship funds as well as how much they charge international students. I will do a separate video explaining exactly what this means, but it's just important to bear in mind this information. And lastly, whether the school is a liberal arts school or not. Some people don't like liberal arts schools because they promote broader learning, and you may have to take classes that you don't feel are directly related to your major. Some students don't like this because they think it's a waste of time. Okay guys, so those are the 4 questions, and basically start with a Google search and then ask yourself the 4 questions and go down. So if you need a lot of aid, for example, as an international student, you might want to start with need-blind schools in the US. Or if you like rankings and you want to know the best school for your degree, best schools for engineering, and ask yourself the 4 questions and narrow down your list. So, to recap, here are the 4 questions. 1, can I get in? And here, it's all about your grades. 2, how do I plan to afford it, or can I afford it? 3, will I fit in? And 4, what other factors are important to me? Additionally, as a free resource for you guys, I have attached a Google Sheet that you can download and make a copy of for yourself. It is a college tracker template. I used this once I had finalized my school list, and it really helped me to stay on top of everything. Most of the headings of the columns are pretty self-explanatory, but there's a couple that I'll talk about. Type of school, I'm talking about whether the school is a Reach, Safety, or Einstein school for you. Common App means whether the school is on the Common App or not. I will do a follow-up video on what the Common App is, but it's basically the software or the program that you apply to many schools using. Number of supplements, those are mini essays that the schools require you to write as a part of your application, and you'll know that based on the Common App or whatever the school's application system is. And the status just means whether or not you've completed the application. So what's your progress? Is the application in progress? Is it complete? Is it incomplete? Whatever. I think all the other headings are self-explanatory. I used a tracker like this when applying to schools, and it really helps me to stay organized. So I would highly recommend that you download and make a copy of it for yourself. The link for this template or tracker will be in the description box below. Alright guys, well that's basically all I have to say are your college lists. If you have any questions, please comment down below. I will definitely answer them. Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you found it informative. That would mean a lot to me. And of course, subscribe for more college-based content. Oh, and one more thing. Clearly, I'm new to YouTube, so if you have any suggestions as to what you'd like to see next, I'd really love to hear them. Please drop them down below as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please stay tuned for more videos. Again, I did promise a video on financial aid on scholarships that you're gonna wanna check out. Today's quote is, "You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great," by Zig Ziglar. Thank you so much guys. All the best on your journey. Bye.
Ooh.